Here's how I steal ethically my competitors' keywords and how I do it in a smart and methodical way, and why. If you adopt this one strategy, you are very easily going to outrank your competition, get more traffic and make more money. Let's get into today's video. So you've joined me inside my favorite SEO tool, AHREFS. AHREFS is my preferred. It really is an all-in-one SEO toolkit for a variety of reasons. I probably couldn't run my own portfolio, my agency, and also my joint venture portfolio without it, because I use it every single day. There are alternatives and there are cheaper ways that you can use SEO toolkits, and you can find information about your competitors. But I think with AHREFS, you do get what you pay for. It is on the expensive side, but there's so much data there that it's kind of unreal. So let's go ahead and go through AHREFS. I think they do have a smaller and cheaper plans as well, if you kind of are on a budget and you need to work your way up, which is fine, makes total sense. But today I'm going to go into AHREFS and I'm going to show you 2 or 3 of the most smartest and strategic ways, intuitive ways that I use to generate my keywords based on my competition, and also just doing some really smart intuitive research itself. Let's get into today's video. So in today's example, I'm going to use a DIY site that I own. It's one of the sites that I have not spent too much time in. I probably neglected it over the last few years, but for demonstration purposes, it's perfect because it gets traffic. It's in a really, really good niche, and we can really delve down into the data points. So as you can see here, this is the site Explorer. So this is giving us information on the DR, backlinks, the keywords and traffic, and some really smart and intuitive tips in terms of the referring domains and organic traffic, and what that looks like in terms of keywords over the last few years, which is pretty cool. I'm not going to go into all the specifics of AHREFS because I'll be here for hours, maybe days, but I will give you some insights into how I do keyword research in a smart way. So to start, there's 2 ways that I do my keyword research. The first way is to check my competitors in comparison to my DR. So I'm looking for in this example, for competitors that are probably under 20 DR, because if they are, usually I can outrank them if I do really smart on-page SEO and do topically silo relevant keywords, which again I'll share briefly in this video too. And also number 2 is just by doing good old-fashioned smart sub-siloed keyword research itself. Again, I'll show you in this video on how to do that. So we'll go with the competition way first. So you want to go over to, so on the left hand side there's a competition gap here that you're going to press, but for now we'll press organic competitors. Based on all of AHREFS data points, it's showing us that we have maybe like 10 or 20 or so competitors that share keywords that's similar to what we currently have, and also are in obviously the same niche and talking about the same things. So what I generally tend to do is I'll click through every single one here and find out the ones that are closest to my particular niche, my particular website, and the keywords I'm trying to target. But to keep this video short and succinct, I'll pause it now and do that research and then come back. So what I've done is I've gone through the first 10 or 15 or so, and I just very quickly click the icon here, and I want to see what the DR looks like. So that's my first principle. I know these are all relatively related, and I know they all have keywords that overlap. So I'm just trying to find 1 or 2 or maybe 5 or so that have a low DR, has decent decent keywords that it is already ranking for, and something that I can outrank. Now, based on that, I usually will then open up one of them, or a few of them. So for example, let's open up this one. And then I just want to make sure that it is what it says on the box. So is it a tool site? Does it talk about tools? Will it directly relate to what I'm talking about? And obviously for this one, it's yes. Now, once I'm happy with that, I go over to the content gap tool right here. Now, technically, if you had another tool, you can probably just put those URLs into a competition analysis and just see what their keywords look like. But the cool thing about AHREFS is I can put multiple URLs into a content gap, and this is the super important part. I can make sure that my particular domain that I'm trying to rank for and rank above is not conflicting with these domains. So at least one of these targets should rank in the top 20. That's talking, so the top 10. That's talking about these ones here, and it does not rank for the following term. In that way, there is no duplication, and it's only going to serve me and show me results that my particular site doesn't rank for, which is smart. So here they are. I'm going to hit show keywords, and now it's going to give me however many keywords it finds that are related to my site, related to my niche. I know that the competition is below me in terms of DR, and I can go in now and do lots of in-depth research on these 1000 keywords because they're super relevant, quite good in terms of the keyword difficulty, and I can probably outrank these competitors. Now there's a few ways to do this. I'm not going to go into every single one because again I'll be here for too long. But you can first of all filter by keyword difficulty. So let's say we only want to see the ones that are underneath 5 in terms of keyword difficulty. And lastly, let's say we're looking for long tail. So we want word counts from 0 up to maybe, let's start from 5 or 6 maybe, because we're just looking for long tail informational keywords that we can rank for. Now it's given us a filter of underneath 5 in terms of keyword difficulty and +6 in terms of how of the words. So usually informational words, because people type in more words when they're trying to look for informational things. And now I can look down. Now I can export this, add it back into my keyword tool, and really narrow down to see which one of these 239 keywords that I want to rank for. Potentially even find some type of silo. But generally, if you look at the amount of volume that these currently have, and knowing that it's low volume, low competition, and I've got a high DR, chances are I can probably rank for many of these keywords, especially if I do it in a topically relevant way. So that's the first way, okay? It's really intuitive, really smart. And as you can see, I pulled a list of around 200 plus keywords. Let's actually remove the ones that are from 50 and above, so between 50 and maybe whatever the highest value is here. So now that there are around 62 keywords, I can go in and very easily do some in-depth research on these particular long-tail keywords. Again, it's a really smart way to research keywords, and if you do it, and if it's done correctly, like as you can see here, and you do it a few times, you're going to really weed out and refine your keyword strategy and pull out some really awesome gems. So that's the first way. Now let's quickly go into the second way too. Now the second way usually takes a little bit more time. That's why I prefer to usually go with the competitive analysis way first. And what you're going to do is put in a main seed keyword, and then you're going to do some refining in terms of that seed keyword to find some sub silos, and then find something that you can find something that you can be topically relevant for, and see if you can rank for that. So let's go and do that in the keyword explorer tool now. So I'm going to put the word in saw, because obviously it's a DIY site. It talks about saws frequently, so we're going to find some informational keywords or maybe some commercial keywords that's around saws. So this is the seed keyword. We're going to go to matching terms on the left hand side here. And what's cool about AHREFS is that you can group these all these terms. There are over 1 million terms here and keywords here by specific terms or specific categories and silos. So let's say we wanted to go into circular saws, okay? You can see the volume amount here. These are all of the, again, top level circular saw type keywords with all the information around volume and parent topics. Now we potentially, well, of course, we're not going to just rank for any of these keywords as is, because as you can imagine, they're going to be taken up by the service by really high competition, as you can see here. But what we are going to do is we're going to look for some ideas potentially and see if we can find a bunch of keywords that we can be topically relevant for. So let's put in word count. Again, let's put in around 5 or 6. And we'll hit show results. And then we're going to change the KD to under 5. And then lastly, we don't want to see anything that has less than 50 in terms of the search volume. So now we have around 365 keywords. We know that it's all around circular saws. That's one silo. We know that they are low in competition and that they have a decent search volume. And we also know that they are roughly informational based, because they have at least 6 words to them. Now, one other smart thing you can do is you can put in seed keywords here. So it could be like how, why, what, help, or anything that has a question element to it, info, etc. And if you put in those separate terms and hit apply, then you're going to get a filtered response, a filtered version of everything that we've just done here, plus with these extra conditional terms, and that's going to give us a really good and well filtered keyword list for us to go into. So now what I'll do is I'll probably check out pretty much all of these. These are all informational based keywords. They are really good in terms of volume. We know that they are low in competition, and we know that they are all based around circular saws. So what I'll probably do now is remove the ones that are too high in terms of volume, because they may be too hard to compete against. And then I'll probably work around the 100 or so mark. So I'll look for all of these particular ones here, and I'll see what the SERPs look like. And then I'm looking for something that is not too competitive in terms of the domain rating. So for example, this one looks quite highly competitive, because if you look at the DR, there's 86, there's 84, there's 80 plus, and this particular site is a 20, so it's highly unlikely that we'll be able to outrank those. But if we keep looking down, we'll see if we can find something that's a little bit more representative for our site. As you can see, we're starting to slowly decrease our competition. So there's a few that have 1, 2, 8 here, 0 here, which is fantastic. So for these types of keywords, the search volume is a little bit lower, but we can start off there. And let's see the one below it. Again, the domain rating is a little bit less. We know that it's about circular source, and there's not too much backlinks in terms of the amount of backlinks that you would need. You probably wouldn't need any, to be honest, to rank an informational keyword. So we'll start off in this kind of arena, and then we'll try to be topically relevant by finding very, very similar circular saw related informational keywords that we can rank for, and build them all together and internally link them together so Google can see us as some type of authority. So that is pretty much in a nutshell what I would do. Again, I don't want to go into too much detail in this video because I will be here for hours, but in between the competition research, which is the first way, and then narrowing down really, really smartly your seed keywords into something that's topically relevant, you can start to gain a really, really good keyword strategy. And of course, that is just the terms that we did for circular. If we was to go down to something a little bit different, like maybe blades or track or chop, etc., or metal or concrete, we would be able to really find topically relevant clusters of keywords, and that's what's going to help you build your traffic and build your revenue over time. Anyhow, I hope that's been really useful for you. AHREFS is a beast in terms of SEO tools, so feel free to sign up at the basic package or up to any level that you choose to. If you're not going to use that one, there are alternatives, but as I mentioned, AHREFS do have pretty much everything you need. If you have any questions or any queries or anything you want to ask, feel free to do it in the comments section below, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care.